What is up, everybody? It's your girl Shampri, and in today's video I'm just going to be doing a small sit down video. As you guys can tell from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's like being 31 and going through a divorce. And I can tell you right now, like, I feel like I've just been going through so many different emotions, physically, mentally, spiritually, just every emotion you can think of when you're going through a divorce. I feel like I have been going through that. So I do apologize in advance if this video is long. I'm going to try to make it as short as I can. So just bear with me. I might apologize if it is a little bright in here. I was just trying to make sure you guys could actually see me since I am filming in my bedroom. So, again, I am 31, going through a divorce. For those that don't know me personally, I was married for 7 years. And me and my ex, we were together for 10 years. We do have 2 kids. One is 7, one is 3. And, you know, we just grew apart. Now, we did deal with some things publicly on social media, which I'm not going to talk about. I actually went back and forth about whether or not I was going to share that information, but I just kind of felt like it's something that should stay just between he and I and the family members that saw the back and forth between us on social media. So if you don't know us personally, you don't know what was going on to cause the breakup, we're just not going to discuss it. I just don't feel that it's something that I want to share. I have went back and forth about whether or not to share that information. I actually did make a video and I decided to not post it because I felt like it was just something that wasn't everybody's business to know. So, but yeah, I am just gonna go ahead and touch on, how I'm feeling and how I'm dealing with everything regarding this divorce. So, nobody actually ever prepares you for divorce, even if you're the person that filed. And in this case, I was the one that filed. Initially, when I filed for divorce, I felt at peace. I had slept on it. I had thought about it for days, actually a couple weeks. And, I prayed about it. I cried about it. And once I felt like it was the right decision, I decided to go ahead and go through with the process. I didn't feel any regret at first. Again, I was at peace. I felt happy. I felt like a weight was being lifted off my shoulders. So it was definitely a great feeling to finally be taking a step to making myself happy in this situation. I didn't tell him at first that I was going to be filing, so I waited all the way until, he was served his papers, and then that's when we had a conversation, which I know thinking back now, it seems kind of wrong to not give him a heads up, like, hey, this is what's going on, but it was just so much going on, I just didn't feel like it was necessary. So, we ended up breaking up, splitting up. He went his way, I went my way. And then, after maybe like a couple weeks of us not being together, it just kind of felt like things were, I don't know, it just seemed kind of awkward. We weren't really talking as much unless it pertained to the children. It was just like we didn't have much to say when we were handing the kids off. And then I kind of felt like, I don't know, I would say I kind of felt angry at first. Like, why are you treating me this way? Why are you not wanting to help me or anything like that? Then it came to the point where, he didn't want to help me as far as like picking the kids up from daycare. It's like, oh, you gotta figure that out. And that's when the angry phase came in. And then weeks later, when I started to fall behind on bills, that's when the depression stage fell in. And I started feeling like, I was just sad all the time. I felt so many different emotions. I felt like part of me had made the wrong decision, but I think that is just, the different emotions setting in, knowing that, we are, actually going through with this. And it was just like, okay, now we're evolving, we're becoming two separate people. But again, it just felt like it was just so many different emotions that were going on. I was starting to feel depressed because I was behind on bills. It was like, okay, now I'm behind on rent, I'm behind on lights, I'm behind on daycare. And it was like I was constantly trying to catch up, and it just wasn't working. So then I started to question myself, like, well, am I making the right decision? But yeah, I started feeling like I didn't know if I was making the right decision for me or for my children. But then I started reaching out to that outside help for advice, and people started telling me the same thing, like, that's normal to feel that way. So at this point, it's like I felt at peace. I felt angry. Now I'm in that depression stage. Now I'm starting to feel that regret, like, oh God, did I make the right decision? Do I want to try to work this out and try to keep my family together? But at the end of the day, I already knew, like, we had already been trying to make things work for the longest, and it just was not working. So it was just like, how do you do it? Like, I'm not used to seeing how people do this. It's like some people, they just, get in these relationships, they get married, they divorce, and they go on about their business, and you never see, like, what happens underneath everything. Like, my mom, she went through a divorce, and it was just like her divorce happened so quick, and I never saw her upset. I never saw her cry. I never saw her, be frustrated or mad or anything like that. And it just, I don't know. It was very different. And for me, it was hard on me because I didn't know how this would affect my kids. Because I had tried to give my kids something that I never had. I didn't know what it was like to grow up in a household with, both parents. And I didn't know my mom really. I didn't know my dad because my grandmother raised me. So, it's very, very different. And I stayed in it for so long because I wanted to give my kids that one thing that I didn't have, which was both parents growing up in a household together. But, at the end of the day, it's like, if I'm not happy, then why am I staying in it? But it's a lot of things, like, you're never prepared for it. It's like you're going into it, you think, oh, I'm going to be okay. Like, that was me. I just knew I was going to be okay. And I was like, oh, I don't need you, this, that, and the other. But when it boiled down to it, it was like, okay, I kind of do need you. But it was just like, I just felt so many different emotions, and I'm still dealing with it. Like, we have our first court hearing coming up very, very soon, I think in the next 2 weeks, and I have no idea what to expect. Part of me is just like, I hope, we can agree on everything. That way the judge can go ahead and sign off on it, and, I can go my way, you can go your way. But then it's just like, do I want to start all the way over again? Is that what I want? I'm not sure, but you know, the things that we've gone through, things that I've gone through in this marriage, it's like I just want to be single and raise my kids and co-parent, and it's just, I don't know, it's very, very different for me, because honestly, if the children weren't involved, this is somebody I probably would never speak to ever again in life. But because we do have children, I feel like we do have to have some kind of communication. Things have actually changed a little bit, because at first it was like we couldn't talk at all, and it's like now we do have a conversation like here and there, but it's not like a full-blown conversation. I still want to be cordial for the sake of my children, because I don't want to be arguing with him in front of our kids. And this is something that we kind of went back and forth about in the beginning stages of our separation, because I was still trying to be cordial and he didn't want that. He kind of made it seem like I was confusing him by being cordial. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, would you rather me be cordial with you, or would you rather me argue with you every single time I see you? Or, like, I don't understand. But for you to be like, oh, this is confusing. But now it's like he is actually being cordial. And, you know, we try not to argue. It's like anytime he asks, can he get the kids? I'm just like, yeah, come and get them. Like, it's okay with me. I'm not going to stop you from being a father. That's like not my point. Like, if I said I want to co-parent with you, that's what I'm going to do. But again, like, it's definitely not easy. Divorce is not easy. Again, no matter how prepared you think you're gonna be for this divorce, you're never gonna be prepared enough. And that's something that I learned when I went to our mandatory parenting class. And it was like being in that class and hearing like different stories and knowing the signs of emotions that you're gonna go through and everything that you could possibly deal with when going through a divorce. It kind of made me sad a little, because it was like, okay, this is really happening. Like, my relationship is actually crumbling. I'm actually going through a divorce, and it kind of made me a little sad. I almost broke down, but then I was just like, at the end of the day, like, there's a good reason behind it all. And I know, like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be stronger, and I'm gonna be, you know, the best mom I can be for my kids. And that's just it. Divorce has not changed my views on marriage in the future. I would love to get married again in the future. But I think I'm definitely going to take some time and spend by myself, get to know myself a little bit better, learn to love myself again, because I lost a lot of myself being in this relationship. So I'm definitely going to be focusing on loving me and taking care of my kids, being the best mom I can be, becoming more focused on them, getting closer back to God. And, you know, if love comes back, then I'm all for it. Like, I'm not going to stop it. I'm not going to force it. If it happens, it happens. But this definitely hasn't changed my views on marriage at all. But I thought that this would have been a great video to share with you guys. Just telling you guys, like, you know, what's going on, and, you know, how I feel about being 31 and going through a divorce. Like, it's not easy. And again, it is something that no matter how prepared you think you are, it's always going to surprise you, and it's always going to throw you off your square. Like, that's just it. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this video because I don't want to make it too long. But if you're new to the family, go ahead and subscribe, hit that ring notification bell so you know every time I post. Leave some encouraging words for me down below. And I can't wait to drop another video for you guys and let you know more about what is going on. I will be doing some vlogs, some more sit down videos. I would like to do some challenges, do some fun stuff with you guys. So again, leave some encouraging words for me down below. Leave me some video ideas. I would love to hear them all. I will also link in my social media, my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram. That way you guys can always keep in contact with me. And until next time, I love you guys. Bye. Mwah. Bye.